5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into The Clingers Have Spoken. I'm Joel Klinger. Alongside with me is my brother, Michael. We just watched episode 2 of season 45 of Survivor. Michael, how are you feeling tonight?
Dude, I'm feeling good. It was a fun episode, and I actually, I didn't have all those premiere jitters, so I was able to kind of lock in, really get into the episode, taking notes on my phone, so it was a good episode, man. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. A lot more character arc out of the Yellow Tribe than I thought there would be. A lot more interesting stories. The twists with the advantages I liked. And again, a challenge that was a challenge where someone messed up and it was a big deal. You know, felt like a solid episode of Survivor. I felt like we saw some things that maybe we definitely would not have seen some things in an hour-long episode. We got the intro back, and they did a recap. They just blew through both of those things the last few seasons. And we also got to see Dee talk about her big toe, which we definitely would not have seen if we did not have 90-minute episodes. And I think that's a part of Survivor that I've missed. Just dumb, stupid conversations that may come in later, may not, just you're sitting on the beach. What's that like?
Yeah, it was cool to realize I was 30 minutes into the episode and that nothing had happened. No twist had happened, no challenge had happened. It was literally just Lulu getting back from tribal council and the morning silly stuff. That was all that had happened, and it was I'm a third of the way through this episode, so that's on track. But it's I'm a half hour in, and I feel like it was great for getting to know a lot of characters, especially characters we didn't get to see last week as much, like Drew and Julie and J Maya and Dee and Mom. Well, it's confusing. Mama J and J Maya on the same tribe. It's confusing, but. It was good to get to know some characters a little bit better. It was cool the way that you could see the cipher on the flag worked out.
Yeah. I thought that was very fascinating. I thought maybe you could solve it if you didn't have that, but no, it's literally impossible unless you have the piece of paper.
I mean, if you're a literal genius, maybe you could have figured it out. I was really impressed that J Maya was over there trying to figure it out herself. I thought that the fact that she already knows that was a thing. And then I started to turn my brain off whenever Sabaya and Brandon found the Beware advantage, because I was okay, yeah, it's a cipher thing. And then next thing I know, I look up and they're doing something else, and I'm wait a second, that's not the same Beware advantage. So then I had to backtrack those 30 seconds and watch again. So it was a good episode to really see the fun things that they're doing on Survivor this season, and it's been really good. There's enough space for them to do the things that they're wanting to do, and I feel like they turned the amount of twists down so far, and there's more space to show story. So it's been really good to see a lot of the character development. We would never have seen Emily make an effort to get along with people better.
Yeah.
In a 1 hour long episode, and maybe we would. Maybe she ends up winning, and that was a turning point for her. I doubt it. I don't think that's what's happening, because I don't think she's really changed her attitude that much.
No, she's just masked it better.
Yeah. So, but it was really cool to see all that.
Yeah, something that I think we probably would have seen Emily changing her mind, but we wouldn't have seen as much of it. Right. And we wouldn't have seen so much of Caleb saying, no, I think I can actually work with her. I think we're cool. we would have gotten more of like the, oh yeah, Caleb and Emily are kind of working together, but is that just going to be a flip at the end? You know, like that would have been a rushed thing where in the past few seasons we just would have been like, okay, Emily and Brandon, that's like 50-50 right now. And I didn't feel like it was 50-50. I felt like it was like 65-35. And like, but like understanding kind of the logic and how the decisions were made without for sure knowing what was going to happen, I really appreciate, because sometimes we don't see like the logic behind the move until we see the move, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then like we wouldn't have known until in post game when Rob is talking to Caleb on podcast doing a deep dive, and Caleb's like, actually, I was like trying to take Emily under my wing and use her as a number and this and that, and you just never saw it on the show. So it was cool to be able to like see that gameplay. And honestly, if Brandon and Sabaya had a vote and Caleb didn't, I think Emily would have gone home tonight. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's still those losing your vote. It seems, you know, it doesn't seem like a big deal in the moment, but it is. It is a big deal. And, you know, Brandon risking his vote in that situation when you know you're on the outs, I guess he probably thinks I really need an advantage because I am doing terrible at everything else. And in his defense, that's a puzzle he should have been able to do.
Yeah.
That is a puzzle that he should have been able to complete. And poor guy, I feel for him. Like, the fact, like if he had 10 minutes to do it, he would have figured it out. But the fact that it was 3 minutes, like you're rushing and you're gonna miss up on like something as simple as like, do these two blocks are they matching? Are they the same?
Yeah, he did it so fast. He just did it wrong. You know, like they just looked similar, so he threw them together, and that was not the correct thing to do. And yeah, like it's tough because this may be one of like the worst performances we've ever seen out of a cast member in terms of challenges and just like doing what they should be doing. Like you cannot say you're the puzzle guy and then fail at 3 puzzles. Like that, you can't do that, right? Like that, you cannot do that. You can't say you're the strength guy and lose by a drastic margin to the other tribe's strength people. You just can't do it. And also, Brandon was like, my social game is the best. I'm the bomb. People love me. But then he just goes back to camp and says, oh, guys, like, I know I blew it, you know, like, whatever, like, do me. And then, like, the first episode, he's saying, yeah, I'm going to play my shot in the dark. It's like, Brandon, like, I don't think your social game is good. Like, I think people are okay with you as a person. You seem nice. But at the same time, like, I don't think your social game is thebomb.com, man. Like, I like a lack of awareness, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I like Brandon because I think I know people like Brandon. Who are really fun hangs, good to hang out with, you know, smart, easygoing, but like put them in a pressure situation and they're not the person you want on your team. And so I like these people. These are my friends. And so I get Brandon. But then on the flip side, Emily, I don't think I know anyone like her. I don't think I get her at all. I can't think of one person that I'm like, yeah, Emily's kind of like this person. Like, I don't know if there's just like not a lot of Emily's walking around or if we just don't run in the same circles. But she is, I feel for her too, because I literally don't think she gets her situation. Like she thinks that it's like, I think she understands like maybe it's me, but she has no idea like how deep that goes. It's like it's not that you just like came in a little strong. It's like you are the essence of coming on too strong.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that's something that you were just a little bit nervous and you came on really strong at first. It was like, no. Like the very essence of your being is not compatible with the other people in this group. And that sucks for her. I really feel for her. And like, it was funny last week, just like, oh my gosh, Emily, like, can you take a chill pill? In this episode, we got to know her in a way that made me feel really bad for her. I feel bad for Brandon too, but I also know Brandon, fast forward to now, I'm sure he's going to go on Rob Sesternino's podcast tomorrow and say, it was awesome to be on Survivor. I can't believe I'm talking to Rob Sesternino. This is so cool. And for Emily, I really feel for her. Like she said tonight in the episode, like, I am feeling like I'm going to experience trauma watching this back. And I really feel for her because, yeah, she probably is. And the hard thing is, it's hard when, like, you don't like someone and then they say, oh, you guys, nobody likes me. And you're like, no, come on. We like you. And it's like, they know you don't, like, they know they're not connecting socially. And so they're getting like this half-hearted, like, oh, well, you've isolated yourself, we've tried to be your friend and there's still hope for you and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh, poor girl. Hey, maybe the reason we've seen this much of her so far is because she makes it to the end with Caleb, but I don't know.
It could be. I think I have met people like Emily. And I typically meet them at Best Buy. They typically come in and they know that something's not right with their order or their thing that they want to buy, and they know what's wrong, but they think that if they talk to me in a certain way that I will give them what they want. And I'm just not going to do that sometimes because sometimes I literally just can't. And that's how I feel Emily is. And I feel like she knows what's wrong. She is aware that she is not connecting with these people, but she doesn't know how to fix it. And she gets frustrated with them when they say to her, hey, everything's fine, because she's seen Survivor. She knows that everything's not fine. But the thing is, like, when she was like, okay, yeah, I'll just play along. And then the next conversation they have, they're talking about who's going to go on the boat to possibly get an advantage. Of course you're not going to go. Like, you're not going to go. Like, you have the least amount of trust with these people. You can't expect to go. Like you have to understand where you are in the game and play that. Like, I feel like she's like, okay, everybody's shields are up, so I'm just going to keep, like, hammering away at everyone's shields, and that's not how you get anywhere. Like, you have to get them to put their shields down or go around, and she doesn't know how to do either of those. At least with these people. I'm sure she gets along with people at home, but just with these people, she is not connecting in that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think there is a way around for her with this tribe anymore. I think that walked out the door with Hannah quitting last week. And so, yeah, I mean, she's got a hammer, and that's her only tool. She doesn't have any other tools. And so, yeah, tonight, yeah, when it was time to get on the boat, she's like, I mean, I really want to go, but that's, I'm on the bottom and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just stop talking.
Stop talking.
Like, just stand around with everyone else, laugh when someone makes a joke, and be like, when someone says, man, it's hot out here, you're like, oh, yeah. And when someone says, man, I'm thirsty, you're like, me too. It's not that hard to get along with other people. But, it's like the SNL's old Debbie Downer sketches where, like, they'll be at Disney World and, Debbie Downer's there and, it's like she's complaining about literally everything. Like, it doesn't matter what the situation is. And just continually bringing up, like, I'm not in the group. And, like, I've experienced this in some friend groups where there's someone in the group who, like, they truly, like, they keep saying, like, oh, no one likes me. No one's my friends. I'm like, you're here right now with us. You were invited here to hang out. Just be cool. Like, just be cool. This is not that hard. Like, don't keep bringing up the fact that you think you're an outsider, because that is making yourself an outsider. I think that's the truth behind what Sabaya was saying. I obviously think there's no way Emily and Sabaya are ever going to be friends. And then, it was funny, like at Tribal, Emily's like, I know if I go home tonight, I'll be leaving with lifelong friends. And it's like, Madeline was sitting beside me. She was like, what? I'm like, I think she might, but not good friends. Like, because you're gonna be trauma bonded to these people in some way of like, remember that time we were on an island for 5 days and we had no water because we had no fire, and it was freezing cold at night and we had no fire, and we didn't sleep and we didn't eat and we didn't drink water for 5 days, and we lost a bunch of challenges. Like, that's a level of trauma bonding that you're going to have, but I don't think she's going to be good friends with anyone she's met here. Maybe I'm wrong.
She's not just going to go to the bar, with Sabaya. Like, they're not going to, like, bro down, whatever that looks like for them. And it looks different probably, and that's why they're not going to be friends in real life. Like, I think that's fine. I can see in Emily a person that wants to have that, though, and for whatever reason can't. And, like, I see that in her paranoia where, like, I feel like everyone's conspiring against me, and it's like, no, everyone just shares similar opinions of you because of that's the way that you are and that's the way they are. It doesn't mean they're conspiring. It just means that, like, you're just not vibing, and that's fine in the real world. It just sucks when you're on Survivor and you're on a beach with these people.
Right, because in the real world, you can go and find your tribe. You can say, you know what? I am into this thing, and I bond with everyone really hard over that thing, or there's other people like me out there that we kind of group together. And on Survivor, there's just not. They intentionally don't put anyone like you on your tribe. Like, they make an effort in casting to not put anyone exactly like you on your tribe. Now, you might be more compatible with others naturally, but yeah, that's why she was like, I promise I have friends, guys. It's like Jeff is like, I know you have friends. You don't get cast for Survivor if you don't have friends. You know, like, so it's not that she is a terrible person or that she's completely incapable of connecting with another human. It's that she drew the short stick and naturally wasn't going to vibe with these people, but then she made it way worse before she could even... I think before she even realized how much worse she had made it, it was already like a foregone conclusion that she's going to be out, which brings me to the vote. Would you have voted out Brandon tonight?
I probably still would have voted out Emily, honestly. I see where Caleb is coming from, and I get that numbers are an advantage for you, but at this point, does he think that he's closer with Emily than he is with Sabaya or Sean? Like, once you guys merge, like, if you lose again, just vote Brandon out. Like, that's fine. And then once you merge, you're either going to go with 3 really strong people or 2. I mean, even if it's just you and, like, Sabaya. Like, if you trust Sabaya, then, like, yeah, like, do it,
Yeah, I think that Sabaya and Caleb turning on each other is like inevitable, which you wouldn't have seen last episode, but tonight it was pretty clear that Sabaya was closer with Brandon and Caleb was closer with Emily. And if the votes had been switched, that they would have voted Emily out. And I like the point that Sean brought up. He's like, but are we going to win challenges even if we vote Brandon out? Like, would you rather, like, keep the vibes high for 2 more days and lose again, like, with Brandon here? Or would you rather, like, still have, like, the weird social, like, oh, you guys don't like me. Yes, we do thing going on for 2 more days, and then we lose again, and then we vote her out. It's going to be weird. Did you watch Next Time on Survivor?
I did.
Yeah. And so, like, this is going to work out in Caleb's favor because Sabaya is going to go to Emily and she's going to say it's time to vote Caleb out, and Emily's going to go to Caleb and be like, Sabaya just said she wants to vote you out. Now, I don't know if Caleb is going to believe that. He might not believe that. He might think, Emily, just chill, just be cool. But, like, if it had been swapped and Sabaya goes to Brandon and says, let's vote Caleb out, Brandon's like, sure, I'm there with bells on.
Yes.
And so like
Yes.
that is an important win for Caleb that Emily got to stay and not Brandon.
Yeah. And I get that, but like I just can't believe that you don't even trust. Like I feel like Caleb and Sabaya, the first episode, they hit it off. Like they were vibing, you know? Like what happened? And also next time on Survivor, sometimes lies to us. So maybe Sabaya is like not actually doing it, and she's just trying to say that so that she can coax Emily down and say, we're not going to vote you out. Like I'm with you. Let's vote Caleb out. So that's a possibility. And it would be dumb of Sabaya or Caleb to just try to blow that up now. Like, I don't care how much you feel like you have an alliance with Emily. Like, none of those people have said enough or done enough to make me trust them less than Emily. You know? Like, what would be the benefit for Sabaya to play with Emily instead of Caleb? Like, Caleb seems to be really good at this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb's obviously a beast in the challenges. Like he went across that beam like boom tonight. But I think the thing is, if you get down to 3 on Lulu, if I'm Caleb, if it's me, Emily, and Sabaya, I'm feeling good because I'm not going home. You know, like if you get to the final, if it gets to the 3 left on Lulu and it's Sabaya, Sean, and Caleb, that's a little bit more up in the air because Sean is kind of in between the two. And so if they don't just vote Sean out, which based on what we've seen would make sense if they did that. But like you want to be in a situation where you're like, I know that the 2 people that are left here on this tribe would rather have me here than the other person. And so because of that, that's what I'm going to do. So there is some strategy involved in that. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said last week, and tonight's episode and vote out didn't change my mind. These people are going to continue to lose immunity challenges. Like it's an issue. None of them can do a puzzle from what we've seen. And Emily and Sabaya are not on the level as a lot of the other women on this season in challenges. Like Reba, their women are like on top of it. Below's women are a little bit.
They're good.
They're
solid.
fine. That poor woman split on the beam tonight. That
was tough.
That
man.
was a tough.
I audibly like oofed on that one. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's rough." Like if that happened to me, I would lie there.
Yeah, but something tells me like a man like you would not go on the beam in a way to even like that would not be a possibility. Like you would if you felt yourself slipping like that, you're gonna throw your body one way or the other to avoid that. So that was painful. I'm sure it was really painful for her. And like she looked like she was in pain. She got up on the thing where they were doing the puzzle and she just sat there. So I feel for her, whatever her name is.
Kendra, I think.
Kendra? Is she a comedian?
I think so.
Am I making that up?
That sounds right.
I vaguely remember from last week her being a comedian, but who knows if that was true.
And then from what we saw from the other tribes, Blue Tribe, Brando and Kelly seem like they're in a power spot because Brando's working with the girls and Kelly's kind of working with Bruce. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I buy that. Although Brando, freaking love Brando. You my winner pick. I don't know why, but he just got a good head on his shoulders, you know?
Do you see a lot of yourself in Brando?
No. I think Brando is calmer than I would probably be, honestly. But like he doesn't say as much as I probably would out there. But he just, man, like I feel like he just knows how to fit in his own way, and I appreciate that. The Red Tribe, Drew is like, hey, we got this 4, right? Me, Dee, Mom, and Austin, and we're gonna roll. We're gonna get my kingdom all the way. I'm gonna type this up right now, yo. Like, and Sabaya said it too. But anytime anybody's like, I think I'm in control of this tribe, or like I'm in control of this game. And it's the second episode. I'm like, can we stop for a second? Because it's
Haven't
probably not
even
true.
been to a tribal council yet.
Yeah. Of course you're going to feel good.
I'm just waiting for the episode where Drew doesn't mention he goes to an Ivy League school. He is now 2 for 2 on mentioning Ivy League. It's like, dude, there is someone on every season of Survivor who has gone to an Ivy League school. Like, you are not special. And it's just crazy. It's like, just, like, I would like Drew if I didn't think he was just so, like, proud is not the right word. He's overly proud. He's prideful. Arrogant. It's just like being a 22-year-old that like hasn't ever been knocked down a peg, like is a quality that's tough. I mean, I remember being a 22-year-old and having never, really failed at anything, or life had pretty much gone the way I had hoped. Generally, I mean, you can get really high on yourself. So I see a dose of humility in Drew's future, and maybe not. Maybe we're the dummies. Maybe Survivor is setting us up to show Drew's masterful control of a game. But like, no one in the new era who has thought that they were going to dominate the game, like he said, has actually done so.
Yeah.
That's like eighth
I
place.
think so.
That's like an 8th place game these days.
People are so resistant to that type of person nowadays that that's just not a successful thing anymore. Like, if you try to go in and tell people what to do or try to dominate the game, like he said, people are smart enough where they're going to figure that out and they're going to cut you. Like, people aren't as dumb as they used to. Like, the people that, like, he can't Boston Rob this season. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
He can't even Ricard this season. He can't even high this season. So I have I wouldn't say no hope for Drew, but it's a little bit. I'm not really seeing what he's seeing, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, of course you're not. You don't have an Ivy League education. So
That's
how
true.
could you?
That's true. And I love any season where we've got like a mother-son thing going. We've got Julie and Drew. We had Chrissy and Ryan back
Denise and Malcolm.
Denise and Malcolm, the classic. But honestly, on that season, I felt like Blair. Her name's not Blair, but that was her character's name on that show. And she was more of like a motherly figure out there than Denise was. Man, I don't remember her name, but the blonde lady. Welchel. Julie Welchel? Was her name Julie too? I don't know.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
And so, I mean, it's always fun to see a mom and son thing out there. And I'm officially coining the term mom-mance. Because it's like a showmance, but it's like a mother-son thing. We need to be as worried about that as we are about like a dating showmance. These are the types of things we need to be worried about. The mom-son thing has gone much farther in recent Survivor memory than the showmance, the classic showmance has. These are the things we should be worried about, not as much about a showmance.
Also, like, sometimes, like, the dad-daughter kind of thing kind of pops off, too, in a similar way. Now, I feel like it doesn't happen as much, and then it's not as said. But a lot of times I do find, like, an older man and, like, a younger woman will pair up, And it's just interesting to see that happen. But, yeah.
Yeah, a little Bob Crowley and Sugar situation.
Yeah.
From Gabon, a little bit of, I mean, I don't know. Old guys, younger women. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cats and dogs.
Mike and Marianne were cool with each other, right?
Mike and Marianne. Mike was kind of like the cool guy with everybody. Like, that's who I think Bruce thinks he's being like, is Mike from Hoboken. And he's really not being like that. I will say, I said some things about Bruce last episode. I said Bruce is drinking the Kool-Aid and he's like playing a different game this time because he thinks he's such a fun character. Well, I was listening to a podcast today, and I feel like Bruce is actually would have shown this last season. He just didn't get the chance. So I think I was probably wrong about that. And Bruce is a character. I think we're seeing that Bruce is a character now. He's like the weird 45-year-old guy character who's like, look at this, I'm doing the robot. And it's like, dude.
Brando, what's this? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, and I feel like it's like put on. Like, I feel like he's putting on this personality right now.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just like, I think if I were on the island, I'd probably be getting annoyed. But like, just watching the rest of his tribes be like, yeah, it's the robot. It's like, oh my God.
So someone should show Emily, like, do you see how they're all just laughing at what Bruce says and doing what Bruce says? And this is how you should act around the other people on Survivor. And it's funny because like Keturah like can't stand Bruce, and she keeps telling the camera that in her confessionals, but like she's acting so normal about it around everyone else. Like, oh, Bruce, what a character. Yeah. It's just funny. Like, that's like what does a guy in his like late 40s think is what does he find funny? What does he think that like people in their 20s find funny? Oh yeah, it would be me doing the robot on this boat right now. That's that's the thing that they would think is really funny.
Yeah. Like that he's just trying to be like this, oh, I'm not serious. I'm this fun, quirky guy that does the robot. Like that makes me feel better and safer and less threatening just to do the robot.
Hey
like,
guys.
It's like, come on.
What am I doing right here? What am I doing, huh? I'm doing the robot, man.
It's the robot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When he did like the behind the boat and then popping up thing, I was like, dude, Bruce, you're doing the most, man. I need you to you're at 11. I need you to pipe it down.
That's
like
what makes him a good character. So
yeah,
I don't see Bruce going very far, but they might keep him till the merge. I'm sure he's a great guy to have around camp and, doing a lot of stuff, making the fire, all that stuff. So, I mean, I think he's probably the merge boot this season, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Anything else on this episode of Survivor?
No, not particularly. I'm just happy that we were able to see some different characters, and it's funny, like Dez's toe thing, like
D's toe thing.
Yeah, D. Sorry, not D's either. D, and so she's picking stuff up with her toes and stuff. Madeline thought that was funny. Because that's what I do at home too when I'm not wearing socks, is I'll see what type of things I can pick up off the table. We will eat and drink on the couch, and so I'll pick stuff up off the coffee table with my toes. So that was pretty funny.
When she just like ripped out the grass while she was doing her confessional, I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. Like, it was like, you could hear it. It was just like, whoosh, and I was like, what? Like,
some sickos out there enjoyed her showing her feet a little bit too much, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, we do have a few minutes left. Do you want to do some Titans talk real fast?
Yeah, I think we got about 5 minutes. So, yeah, we can do some Titans talk. Big win on Sunday, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. We beat Joe Burrow, who can't move. We literally weren't lining up defensive linemen in the A gap because we were like, Joe Burrow can't run, and they're down 3 touchdowns. What's the worst that can happen? So were you impressed by Sunday's win, or did that just get you back to like baseline of like, maybe they'll make the playoffs?
That's where I am. Maybe they'll make the playoffs. And like, honestly, like the Titans can always beat anybody. They could beat, like, maybe not the Browns, but I feel like they could beat the Chiefs. They could beat the Bills. Like, if they get on the right week, they could do it. But at the same time, like every game where the quarterback is not hurt is just going to be a nail biter. If we're going to win it, like it's like every quarterback's not going to be hurt. We're basically going to get the opposite of that this week with the Colts, and I'm very nervous about it, to be honest. And at the beginning of the season, I would say that this would be an easy dub because the Colts are bad. But the Colts are not bad. And apparently neither are the Texans. So those just became like the division games became 6 just like very up in the air games. And that's a little scary for me because we already won 2. Like I don't really want to go 6-11. Like I want to go like 10-7 or 2-15. Preferably 10-7. I'd be fine with like sneaking into the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much been wrong on every game this season for the Titans. If you had asked me week 1, I would have said they're going to win. It'll be close, but they'll win. And then in week 2, I would have said, I think the Chargers are going to score too many points and we're not going to be able to keep up. And, of course, we beat the Chargers. And then with the Browns, I was like, oh, we'll beat the Browns. They stink. And then we got absolutely smoked. And then with the Bengals, I was like, no, I don't think we're going to win this game. I didn't start Joe Burrow in fantasy, but I still was like, I think we're going to lose this one. And of course, we blow them out. So I literally have no idea what's happening. So it's a normal Titan season.
The question would be like, who do you think is going to win, the Titans or the Colts on Sunday?
I'm going to say the Colts because
all right, everybody,
I'm hoping that my past being wrong will continue if I say the Colts.
All right, everybody, you heard it here first. Like, go to FanDuel, Titans, put all the money in your bank account on that, and we'll get the dub. This is not financial advice. This is not betting advice. If you have a gambling problem, please go to Tennessee.
Red Line. Michael, that is not a Michael like sure bet. Endorse bets. I would endorse not betting on a Titans game ever, pretty much. I mean, what kind of sicko is out there doing that? It is so unpredictable what's going to happen. You're only sicker than that if you're betting on like teams like college football games that you've never even seen the two teams play, which I'm sure people are doing. And
I've done that before.
It's just like, oh yeah, I think North Texas versus Wyoming. North Texas -3. Nah, Wyoming's got this. We have a problem, Americans, and just
our culture.
We're but it's good for the economy. So the economy, it's good for the economy.
Yeah. We hope the Titans win. Good luck, Titans. Good luck, Ryan. Knock 'em dead. Michael, is there anything else before we wrap up the pod?
If you could be friends with one person from this season of Survivor, who would you choose?
Brando, for sure.
Brando.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's Brandon for me.
Yeah?
I think it's Brandon because I think he reminds me of Mitchell Moon, who
literally was thinking
he probably listens to this podcast, but he reminds me of Mitchell. Like, everybody loves Mitchell, but get Mitchell out on Survivor, which he would never do.
Right.
He's not even a fan of the show, but like, yeah, that would be a tough scene. So, Brandon was my pick for a person I'd want to be friends with.
Fair. All right, Michael, that is it for us. This has been The Clean Spoken. We will see you next week after episode 3.
Peace, baby.